All right, we continue this Addy Cliffy sort of retrospective because I didn't actually catch it live. And we're going to skip to the first move. I've talked a little about how I'm going to talk about these games in previous videos. And if you care about that, you can go find it there. So Cliffy plays a safe card. And this is better or worse depending on if Addy can set up against it. Now, outright safe starters do not win as often as I'd think, according to both the solver but also human praxis. I would expect them to have a higher win rate than they do, and I would expect them to be more dangerous to defend against than they are. There is something to Delhi's idea of holding on to such moves, but even Delhi often, plays them anyway. They're very strong. So the big question is, because Addy has no direct play against this starter, does he have combo play? And to do that, we look through the cards. Very complicated process. All right, I'm going to look at what could go in 5 that sets up a capture in 6. For 6213 to have a capture in 6, we'd need a 3 to the right. We have it with 4353, and that also sets up 8. So we already know we have setups with 4353, but we might have setups with other cards too. 3416 would need a 0, which is not available in TTA. 5414 would need a 2. We do have 6213. Does that set us up the other way? No. 4353 would need a 3. No card other than itself has a 3, and you can't play it twice. And 5531 would need a 7, which we do not have. So it looks like 4353 and 5 is the only setup, but it does give us both sides. Does it give Cliffy both sides? Sort of. It gives him a same in 8, and he can overpower in 6. So you can play it if you want to attack stuff, and I don't have a problem with that. My question is there anything else here really worth considering, or are we just going to go in 5? With our horrible down weakness, there's no way we're playing something where we go 7, they block 8, and we have a good L from 4. Our cards are just terrible for that. Could we set up for a good L from 3? No, I'm not really talking about how it was meant to. So let's move on to the next move. Let's see if he goes in 5. Swore a blood oath. Yeah, he does go 5. Okay. And I think we had seen this when I scrolled too far, but I did not comprehend it at the time, and I'm only comprehending now. Oh yeah, we scrolled past and did see the next move. So from Cliffy's perspective, Cliffy has first turn. He has one card that is good in 8, and another card that is okay in 6. 1, 3, 7, 3. Do you want to get rid of these squares because Addy has better play? Or can you create your own play elsewhere? So from a combo perspective, we might think, okay, what if I go in 1 and set up combos? But sadly, I think you'll find our combo setting up capability is somewhat meager. We can set up 4, but not 2, and I can't do it in ways I'm very excited about. Yeah, I'm pretty displeased with that. We could also consider, from our combo perspective, going in 3 or 7. If we have a move there that really sets us up, that could be a fun way to play. We already have a combo in 8, and it, I guess, isn't very dangerous for Addy to block 6, but he can't block 6 with 6-2-1-3 if we go 3, say, because then we can combo through 8 to flip it, and because it flips is 9. And he can't do it with 5-5-3-1 probably, because that's weak to 5 weak to 5. So he probably would have to play 3-1-4-6 or 5-4-1-4, but that gives him quite a few options, so it's not like it's applying that much pressure, and it also looks like we don't really have a setup in 3. How about 7? Do we have anything fun to do in 7? So the thing about 7 is, well, we could have a little more fun than we can in 3. Something like 2-3-2-7 and 7 gives us a same in 4, and with a different card, a plus in 8. But it's kind of uninspiring, because we don't have 6. We don't have particularly good play in 6. So what's just very likely to happen is we go 7, they block 8. We're like, yes, I take a plus in 4. They take their plus in 6. They have a 6 facing out. They're doing great. So I think the combo-oriented lines are not so good. Um, from a more structural perspective, if we want the game to be left-right, we can go in 4. I'm not sold that's what we want. I don't think we really dominate that direction, those directions. And if we want the game up-down, we could go in 2. I'm not sold on that either. So I kind of want to get rid of these squares. Can we go in 6 or 8 and just work our way from there? That's kind of uncomfortable too. Yeah, this is unpleasant for Cliffy. Let's see what he does in our tied 1-1 series. He takes his same in 8. Okay. So, okay, some interesting things happen here. I did like the idea of getting rid of 6 and 8. Addy has 2 compelling choices. Do you go in 7, snagging 8, or do you go in 6, taking your plus and snagging 9? Hmm. So I think if you start in 7, say you play, I don't know, 5-4-1-4, 5-5-3-1. Let's play 5-4-1-4. 5-4-1-4 and 7. And they take it 1-3-7-3 and 4. You're down 6-4. You play 6-2-1-3 and 6. You lead 6-4. You have 5-6-8 and 9. Can Cliffy tie there? I don't think so. Because if he plays 2-3-2-7 or 4-3-2-6 and 1, yeah, he just has no downs. Yeah. So you should win there. So if you start with 5-4-1-4 in 7, Cliffy probably has to go 6. And he can do so safely. You just have no downs. That's so tough when you have no downs. So okay, maybe start in 6. Because if you start in 6, maybe you can face a wall, build a wall taking advantage of Cliffy's lack of down. I don't really see that leading anywhere either. I am not talking about this game as I was intending to talk about the others. Apologies. I did not keep this train of thought, but right. Addy goes 6 and Cliffy goes 7. And my first thought was like, can Addy build a wall facing up? So can he like play a 5 up in 4? And what he really needs to be able to win there is when Cliffy takes something with 1-3-7-3, he can take it back in a way that is safe to 2-3-2-7, but that is not happening. 1-3-7-1 would go in 1. Or 2-3-2-7 goes in 3, and then 1-3-7-3 flips 1 at the end. Either way, you're getting ties. So I think 4 is out, which means the most likely option is 3. Oh, and 3 looks pretty good. Now, one thing I'd note is that Cliffy has given himself 4. But if you go safely in 3 and Cliffy goes 4, you have 5-5-3-1 for 1. And 1-3-7-3 is going to blank. Ah, so is there a win in 3? Kind of looks like a win in 3. Yeah. I mean, Cliffy had better than 7. Or did he need to play a different card in 7? But the other cards are pretty clumsy. This was the only one that was safe. Dangerous position. Interesting. I'm not up for calculating, so we're not going to spend more time on it. Addy does go 3. Cliffy thinks, as one should. And I didn't reload, but let's count the cards. Yeah, Addy does get the 6-4 win and advances to the next round. Now, I missed the first 2 games of the next round, so hopefully I will catch it later. But I think this also speaks to, and partially it's because there was the setup in 5, but Yeah, I mean, safe corner starters when there's a setup in 5 is not quite the same as safe corner starters that, like, can't be dealt with. I shouldn't lump this in with that, so I shouldn't make some broader claim about how safe corner starters are not quite as dominating or advantageous as we think, because when there is a setup in 5, they get difficult. But I like how Addy found ways to get his cards to play, even when he had, again, 3 1s facing down in the starting hand. I think that's cool. And as I was trying to say, but then lost my train of thought, as I so often do, um, Addy is facing turds in the next round, and they have played the first 2 games, and I missed them. But we do have the move orders, and I think I will try to check them out. Mostly because I am falling behind in videos and gotta produce more content to keep my streak of something every 2 days going. Though it's probably gonna end at some point fairly soon. Um, Yeah, when you're not actively competing at something, it is hard to remain as consistent in excited output, though. That is not to say I don't love Triple Triad. It is just to say, at some point, streaks will die. All right, we'll stop for now.